Can you walk us through some low points in wrestling history, and how do they compare to now? Is this the lowest point?
Oh, God. Well, low points. There was a low point in World War II when they didn't even run Madison Square Garden from like 1938 to 1949. And a lot of the guys were away in the service at war or whatever. And people's resources and their finances were strapped. It was a bad period of time in World War II, but there was still St. Louis and Wild Bill Longson drawing 10,000 people or more per show and the hottest heel in the business and setting box office records in the Midwest. So that happened at the same time. There was a down period shortly after wrestling went off network TV the first time, but shortly after that, studio wrestling and local TV wrestling was created and filled the void. And there were still, places that were hot business-wise in some parts of the country. And then there was the mid-'90s where wrestling, pretty much sucked and nobody was making any money at it. That may very well, if today isn't the lowest point, that would be, since even Vince was losing money. But still, when you look at the numbers of people watching on television or whatever, it's no doubt that there are fewer people watching wrestling numerically today than probably pretty much ever, but they're spending more money than ever per head on the product and tickets and related merchandise, et cetera, and are more avid fans at the same time. But now when you talk about number of wrestlers making a living as professional wrestlers, number of responsible, actual legitimate wrestling promotions running events, employing legitimate wrestlers, number of people buying tickets to those events, and number of people watching on television is pretty hard to argue with. It's always been better than now. It's just that those people that are out there are spending more money than they ever have.
I think also, you looked at it really from in many ways, a national point of view. I think there are also, when you look at the different territories that existed, there are different examples. I mean, I'm sure in 78, 79, when Knoxville split and it just destroyed the town.
Oh, yeah, but at the same time, somewhere else could be doing booming business.
Right.
That's the problem with national wrestling promotions is when one's down, they're usually all down, and when they're all down, then everything else is down that's underneath it. And it never used to be that way in wrestling. One area of the country might be completely dead and go dark, and another part would be doing its record business. You don't have that luxury anymore.
If I had to pick a low point in wrestling history, I would say the Iron Sheik Macarena contest in Yardville, New Jersey, with Tommy Fierro for Dennis Coralluzzo.
Well, no, then if you get to pick, then you have to the boxing match between Dennis Coralluzzo and Tommy Fierro.
I think it may have been the empty arena match I witnessed between Fred the Elephant Boy and Kid Vicious on a Dennis Coralluzzo show.
Ooh, that may take the cake. I wasn't there for that one, so I withdraw the boxing match from consideration. Actually, Dennis afterwards said, he's blowed up, right? And he said, how did it look, James? I said, Dennis, I just want you to know, it's the worst thing I've ever seen in wrestling, but I've only been watching wrestling for 30 years. And that was more than 15 years ago, so there you have it.